First off, I was surprised. This morning I talked to somebody over there at the Cowboys, and I just was curious. I'm like, listen, I know that at 11 a.m. that's when they were supposed to claim, and I was sitting there thinking, okay, well, just give me a position, And they wouldn't tell me they wouldn't give me names, but they'll said, hey, we're looking at defensive backs is what we're looking at, and I kind of sat there and I was thinking like, I wasn't thinking one. I was thinking one. I wasn't thinking two. Zach, I'll ask you first, though. Were you surprised, though, that it went player for player on this one? That, usually you claim a guy, and it's like, I was trying to kind of figure out who the 53rd player on this team was, and I didn't have
Childress and Booth?
I didn't have Childress and Booth as being the 53rd player on this team.
No.
I kind of felt like that it was maybe Cornelius, the offensive tackle, and maybe even Mozzie Smith, where I was kind of thinking that would be the 53rd player if you had to. But it was honestly surprising to me that they moved on prisoner for prisoner on this one.
Yeah, and I also wondered with the
2-2.
ability to move.
Oh, 2-2?
Sorry, Will.
They tied it?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I also wondered with like the IR moves that they could
Maybe I
make
jinxed
later
it.
on with Carson going to the IR, Maffa. Like, does that help them? Because I'm bummed about hopefully Childress comes back on the practice squad.
Yeah.
But to move on from Childress, yeah, I thought maybe it'd be another D lineman or an offensive lineman. I mean, they kept 11 D linemen. Now, which one is he going to be? Mozzie would make a ton of sense for me, but
Yeah.
evidently not so fast.
Well, see, the thing with Carson and Maffa, though, they had to be on the roster because they've already designated Mingo.
Yeah. I think, what is it, later this afternoon?
Yeah, they designate Mingo and Turner as the guys that they can come back without any problems. So, but the thing with Carson and Maffa, we'll see how that all plays out, though. But that's to me, that's not surprising. I think with Maffa, like I say, him getting hurt, last week, I think that's really disappointing for him.
Oh, for sure.
He could have been, I
was excited about him.
Probably in the mix on this one. All right. They did claim a couple corners, and I've been kind of taking a peek at the two corners that they claimed. And I had one of my gang of 7 tell me about this kid. I just was curious about one of my gang of 7 guys, and he would know this player pretty well. And this is what he said. He says, I'm really kind of surprised. He goes, this is, I'm sorry. I should tell you, this is Reddy Steward that I'm talking about from Minnesota.
Reddy Steward, okay.
Reddy Steward from Minnesota.
Undrafted 2024 out of Troy.
Yeah. And this is what one of my gang of 7 guys said about him. He says, I'm kind of surprised. He's a good kid. He's kind of a rough tweener as a player. So he's not big enough or fast enough for outside and not explosive enough and strong enough for inside. He's a close but no cigar guy, is what this guy said. This is a scout talking, by the way. Not a standout on teams either. He's a good kid with above average skills that competes. Not sure how he helps your active roster, is what he said. I went back myself and watched him a little bit on the preseason game. There were 61 plays that he had. So I was going through those plays. He is a slot corner. He'll line up on the outside, but is always, I shouldn't say always, but he's more of an inside player. I did think he had a little foot quickness with him when you watch when he got up, bless you, when he got up on his guy, his feet did move pretty well. I thought. I didn't feel like he was heavy footed. I mean, we'll talk about a guy a little bit, the second guy, maybe a little bit less quickness than what Stewart has here. But they used him as a blitzer, and I thought when he blitzed, he closed ground okay for that. I mean, when the quarterback got outside the pocket and he had to run, he was able to kind of get over there, and I thought it was some straight line quickness as far as that went. I thought he could plant and drive pretty well from what I saw. The inside routes, I thought he was carried those okay. It wasn't like there was big separation. Again, we're going to get into Bridges from the Chargers. He's a little bit more some separation there.
178 pounds. Did he look tiny? Look frail?
He's small.
Skinny.
He's a small guy.
They're going to run right at this dude.
Yeah.
He's a ball god.
Yeah, I see this as when you watch him I call him a block down tackler. And when I mean block down, he's going to kind of throw his body at the legs of the ball carrier and try and get him down that way. Didn't see any of the wrap up stuff, but I did like the way he mixed it up with blockers. They tried to throw a screen on him to the outside, and he was able to fight with the blockers, being a shorter guy. And then he was able to get off the block and be a part of that play. I thought he could stay with his man when they asked him to place the coverages when he had to carry the guy. And I thought he was able to kind of adjust on the move. So kind of split between what the scout thought about the guy and what I thought about the guy at this particular player. But he is, like I say, he's going to be more of a slot player than he is going to be an outside player. Okay, how do you say this guy's name, Dawson? You did it right.
It's Trikweze.
Trikweze is how we say that. Okay, Trikweze Bridges. He's a cornerback from the Cowboys claimed from the Chargers, and this guy is a lot longer, and he's a lot more of a rangy kind of build. So this kind of fits into what Will McClay and those guys like over there with the length of a cornerback. This guy's kind of probably fits their eye a little bit better. I thought he would come forward and tackle. They showed that a couple different times. I thought he needed a little bit better body control when it came to that. There were a couple times where he came flying up there, and you know sometimes corners, they play in space and the ball's coming their direction and they just go flying up there and then they go flying by.
Yeah, they're not breaking down.
Yeah, he flew up there, hit, and then kind of fell off a little bit. Yeah. But at least he showed the willingness to try and attack the ball carrier. So I was okay with that. But I said I didn't feel like he was afraid of the contact. He does play both sides. So he's playing left corner and right corner. And he's playing primarily on the outside is what he's doing. So he does well to get his hands on the receiver. And that's the best thing really he does is play the press man coverage and then get his hands up on that guy and then try and redirect or hold them along the line of scrimmage. I think the length and the ranginess of him, that helps him there. He's a long strider as a runner, and I think he needs a little bit more of a burst. He is not because of how long he is, he doesn't look like he's moving very fast. But he's feisty in the way he plays. There was a couple of times where he was mixing it up after the play. I like that about him. He is a press man guy. I said that as well. It takes a little bit for him to close on the ball. I don't think there was a ball that was caught from and off coverage where he was backpedaling and then what they call that click and close. He hit the click part, and then it took a little bit for him to come forward. So there was a pass that went to the outside flat where he clicked and closed, and he was just a little bit late on getting to the ball, and the receiver caught the ball. But just a little bit more quickness, he might have been able to play the ball with the offhand and knock it down. Mm-hmm. He's a long guy, as I mentioned. That's hard for him to turn. He's going to pedal and he's going to open, and it's going to be a little bit longer than, say, a shorter guy. But that it's going to take him some time to do that. Just there's not that quick twitch type of a player here. So I guess because of his length, that's going to kind of the player that you're getting at right now. So those are the two guys that we're dealing with here that the Cowboys play.
Reading up on them, it said they were, ball savvy guys, interceptions. Yeah. I think the first guy you talked about, Steward, had 2 picks in a preseason game last year. Then he got in for 1 game and peanut punched Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I can say I was surprised that the one scout thought what he did about him, because I did see a guy I saw a guy that was explosive and was strong enough and stuff like that. But the scout disagreed with me on that. And so I always like to try and give everybody both sides of the story.
I appreciate it, man. I think it's exciting that they brought in new guys because I just didn't have any confidence in.
Yeah, I think, like I say, I need to circle back there. I need to circle back and see if in fact, has the practice squad stuff come out yet? Did they? They got to wait for Childress and them to clear tomorrow.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. We won't know about Childress till the morning.
We won't know Childress till tomorrow,
maybe the afternoon.
Yeah. So I guess the plan is to try and maybe
hopefully they can get Childress back. I'd be upset if somebody else.
I would too. I thought he played well enough to I like the physicality.
I like the upside. Yeah. I mean, I love the way he Booth can whatever, but Childress, yeah, he's got some potential.